So the C8 Corvette has its own built-in dash camera, but it only records when the car is on, and it only records in the front. But for me, I like to have 360-degree coverage and be able to record even if the car is off. So I found a dash cam system that is just one single camera that gives a true 360-degree view and can do all of that plus more. So let's go check it out in this video. So thanks for tuning in, guys. And like I said, we're going to be checking out a dash cam, and it is going to be something that I'm going to be putting in my C8 Z06, but can pretty much work with any car that you have. Now, this dash cam comes from VANTRUE. It is their E360 Dash camera. It is one of VANTRUE's newest products out there that is a true 360-degree camera. It's not just a camera in the front and the back in regards to like what you see out there normally. No, this is going to be similar to how you see different 360-degree cameras out there that give you the full range of view that you're going to be able to get every single angle possible. And frankly, this is going to be one of those things that you're going to want to get if you want to have that true protective coverage of recording from every single different angle. There's pretty much no blind spots that in regards to where this camera can and can't capture. And I'm going to say that this is not a sponsored video. This I bought with my own true money, and it's frankly because I had bought a dash cam system for my wife's car, her EV6. So I had gotten the VANTRUE N5 system, which has that rear camera ability as well as just full-on capture of like inside the interior and like as well. You get really good coverage for that. But for the C8 Z06, that's kind of a little bit of overkill. You don't really need both a camera in the front and a camera in the back because it's a coupe. It's only two-door. So you really only need one camera that can just basically capture everything from a single point. Especially since the C8 Z06, my C8 Z06 has the PDR, which is like basically a built-in dash camera system. But again, like I said, this mic is not only going to be able to capture it from a 360-degree view, but you can actually have it that it is motion activated even when the car is off, or collision activated for that matter. It has different modes of how it can activate even with the car off. I will caveat that it does need to be hardwire plugged in, which is what this little box is here. It basically has to be able to get electricity from the car, even though the car is off, and you have to connect it to via fuse box, which is really honestly not that difficult. It's very easy to do with a few common tools. And these generally retail for about $400, but I found pretty decent deals just even on Amazon for $50 less than that, and then another $50 coupon. So depending on when you are looking at them, you actually might be able to find them for a good deal. And again, I'll have a link in the description of where I got mine off of, which was directly Amazon, I'll just basically say, so that you can get one for yourself if you choose to buy one. For 5.2K 360-degree camera field of view, you're able to get a little bit of extra zoom if you need to and get really good fidelity. And it has its own little built-in mic as well as a slot for the SD card. Now, it doesn't come with an SD card itself. You have to buy that separately. I believe it can handle everything to a 500 gigabyte, essentially SD card. And you can have it that is set up in a loop status where it'll start, like once the actual memory gets full, it'll start deleting old memories, but will still lock and capture and protect certain files if it senses something like a collision or whatnot. You can have it set up in that way as well. So okay, so let's go check out what you get in this box. So opening up. So alrighty, so opening this up, in general, I mean, I love VANTRUE's boxing. They do a really good job of boxing all this stuff. So the first thing you have is their dash cam quick user guide right here, which gives you basically the starting bits of how to get this all set up and ready to go from the box kind of deal. And then you have a little card here that gives you basically the links to where you can get the app. This system is smart enough with the Wi-Fi that you can just directly download it to your phone through the app, so you have all the videos without having to actually go and get your computer out and do all that kind of stuff, which is really convenient, really makes it a lot easier kind of deal. So, okay. So the next thing that we're gonna look at is the actual dash cam itself. And it's a pretty decent size, I would say. It's not anything that is ginormously big, but it's about this common size of what you see for other 360-degree cameras here. And it's got a good little weight to it. But you can definitely see the cameras for both the front and the back. And this does come with a touchscreen built in onto the camera itself. So let me take off the actual stickers that it has here. So Struggling with the sticker. Okay, ooh, that looks really, really nice actually. Okay, so you have, again, that front screen right here. So when we turn it on, we'll be able to show you all that different stuff. And we'll show you how it looks inside the car. I gotta personally play around with where the best placement for this is. Generally, they say like right underneath where your mirror is like one of the most ideal spots to get 360 degree. So I'm gonna try that, but I am gonna check out a couple of different positions, specifically for my C8 Corvette because it's just how it is. So, okay, so all the stickers are taken off. So you have the little screen here that you can see there along with the actual front 360 degree camera and then its back 360 degree camera. And you probably are thinking, well, there are other dash cameras that have a camera facing front and one that's facing rear. So what's the difference between this? Well, the difference between this is the programming that goes into this. So before, where you would have your front camera and you have your rear camera, you can get those different camera views there. It's that side shots that might be a little bit invisible between those two different views. But with these two cameras on this 360 degree camera, it covers that field of vision. They have overlapping coverage. You're getting true 360 degree field of vision. And this has the ability to record in different formats of 360 degree. So it's frankly gonna be very, very good for those situations where maybe you're on the highway, you have a car directly to the side of you. A regular dash camera is not going to capture something that's going on right next to you. And if they decide to, like, let's say, come into your lane, this is going to capture them coming into your lane as compared to a dash camera that just has the front and back cameras. It might not capture that whole entire situation, but this with the 360 degree view is going to be able to capture that side action going on. So that's where this really is going to shine really, really well. It's compact enough that it's not going to be obstructive out of the way. Some of these other dash cameras can be pretty big, but you're still getting that 360 degree view. And frankly, because it has this little screen here, which is a touch screen that you could use, it makes it a little bit easier to navigate and stuff. And funny enough, VANTRUE got into the market with this, that you can also technically use this as a 360 degree camera off the car, meaning you don't you could put it on its own specialized selfie stick. They have a special selfie stick that has a built-in battery power, I believe, where then you could use it like a GoPro 360 degree camera or one of those other companies kind of deal. I wouldn't necessarily use it probably for that, but the fact that they thought about it because it's a 360 degree camera already to begin with, I mean, that's kind of cool. Compared to other 360 degree cameras that I have, I will say this is a little bit more hefty. So I don't think I would necessarily use it for that, but it's good that it has that kind of option. And I will add on that if you do want to have an extra camera, like an actual dedicated rear camera, if you have a larger vehicle, for example, this does have the ability to plug in an external camera that you can then put to the back of your vehicle. So if you do have a larger SUV or truck or something of that sort, you can combine it with having the 360 degree camera from this, as well as a rear camera to give you that extra level of coverage. But for my C8 Corvette, I mean, this is gonna be pretty much all that I need. Now let's take a look at what else you get in here. So now with this, you have all the other hardware that you need in order to be able to install this camera into your vehicle. Now that is going to include, I'm gonna just take out everything in one go so then I can just go step by step here. So looking at all the different equipment in here, the first thing that you have is going to be your power cord, essentially, which basically plugs into your 12-volt lighter plug that you would have in your vehicle. Now, quick side step with how I mentioned before, if you want to get it that this camera is going to be able to give you full coverage, especially when the car is off, you have to buy this extra piece here, which is the hardwire kit that will hardwire into your fuse box. If you just have this and you use this, this will only allow it to work while the car is on. So something to keep in mind if you're buying this system, this will have it that it works while the car is on. This extra piece will actually allow you to be able to get full coverage. And I will say also that this hardwire kit has its own built-in function where if this basically sees that the battery is running low for whatever reason, this will actually disconnect the dash cam so that it doesn't fully drain the battery. So you're not left with a car that can't turn on. So the next thing we're gonna take a look at is the actual mount itself. So this is gonna be the mount that is going to connect to that 360 degree camera. It just is gonna slide in and just lock into place. So this is what's basically gonna make it a very easy to plug in and install, take it off if you wanted to then use it outside your car kind of deal. And then you have the actual mount itself that has double-sided tape on it as well, which then connects basically to this mount right here. Now this is pretty convenient so that you can then, if you needed to switch out from different vehicles, it comes with 2 of these. So if you wanted to switch it between different vehicles, you can. It just slides into place. So really convenient in regards to that. VANTRUE has really thought about making this a system that you can not only just use in maybe your main car, but you could also use it in other cars as well. Kind of deal without having to buy multiple ones. So you also come with a data cable so that you can directly connect your VANTRUE into your computer to download should you choose, kind of deal. And then it comes with other things like these clips here. This is just a little packet of clips to help manage your wiring once you put it on there. And it comes with actually a little trim tool, which is kind of convenient so that, especially if you're trying to hide some of these wires, this little tool will help basically be able to do that. Now, looking at the rest of what is in the package, if I can get it out of the box, let's see what we got here. So first thing, we have some stickers that basically are just kind of like deterrents of, hey, you know, I have a dash cam, don't mess with me, I guess, kind of deal. I'm never gonna put it on my car, but I mean, that would be weird if I put that on the Corvette, frankly. So, and then you have a little like card here where basically, it says basically if you share your video, like a video of what your experience is, you might win like some extra VANTRUE products. So that's kind of cool. And then you have some right here, some electrostatic stickers. Now this is actually kind of a little bit important. I'm going to be definitely using this because I have tint in the inside of my C8 Corvette. I have ceramic tint. It's very expensive. If you use a double-sided tape on the back of that tint and you, for whatever reason, you need to remove it, you're going to ruin your tint. So this is going to come in very, very, very handy where you apply this to the window tint and it's a lot more friendly to be able to then remove things like double-sided tape. So, so for any of my folks that have tint on their cars, you definitely want to use these electrostatic stickers first and then apply this kind of deal so that it's secure enough that it's not going to fall off, but it's not going to damage the tint. And then you really are stuck with having to replace tint, which yeah, can get very expensive. And that's basically what you get inside this little box here. Now, we're going to take a quick look at the actual hardwire kit as well, so you have an idea of what comes with it. So the hardwire kit, again, is exactly what it is. It's a hardwire kit that will directly connect your dash cam camera to your fuse box. Essentially, you connect it to a fuse that is always that's always having some kind of power on it, and from that it will always supply electricity to your dash cam that is in a low power state. It's not going to be draining the battery, but this kit specifically has a built-in mechanism that if it senses that the battery is starting to get low, it'll actually cut the power to the dash cam so it doesn't continue draining it and draining your battery till it's basically dead and you can't start your car. So that's really useful, and it comes with all different kinds of sizes for fuses for whatever kind of vehicle you have. So all the different sizes that you can think of. I don't know if it's getting caught on the camera as well, but yeah, all the different sizes based on what you need. And all you essentially are going to be doing with that is going to be connecting it to this main hardwire kit unit here. And then basically is a very, very long USB cable that you would connect to your dash camera. And then, like I said before, this is the actual module that if it senses that the battery is low, will cut the power to the dash cam so it doesn't keep draining the battery. So, so you can get that full coverage even when the car is off. You don't have to worry about the battery dying. And yeah, this is gonna give me that extra peace of mind, especially driving this C8 Corvette, that for whatever reason, I have some kind of trouble in him. So I at least have that peace of mind that it is not a he said, she said moment if it's with another driver, or God forbid I have some kind of thief trying to get into the car. In this day and age, this is the extra bit of protection that honestly every person should have kind of deal, because you never know what you can run into. And again, this costs retail about $400 for this dash cam, which is a bit pricey, but I will say that depending, you can find these usually for a pretty good deal. I actually got this for about $300, so $100 off, between $50 off from Amazon and then another $50 off coupon that happened to be when I bought this camera. So there are discounts that you can get this for a little bit reasonable price. $300 for this, I think, is a reasonable price. I'm not sure about $400. That's a little bit on the higher end, but $300 for this, yeah, I can definitely go for this. So yeah, really good coverage, and I think I'm ready to get this installed on the C8 Corvette. So let's get this installed in the car, and then we'll talk a little bit more about how this looks in the car. Alrighty guys, so we have finished installing the 360 camera that you see right here, and actually it's been about a week since I've had it installed because I wanted to kind of check it out and check all the different features before talking about it. Now the install for this was honestly a little bit of a frustrating ordeal, mostly because of Corvette specific type issues. So the C8 in particular has two separate fuse boxes. One is conveniently located behind the glove box on the passenger side, and then the other fuse box is located right here in between the two seats behind the speaker. And so it's not like regular cars where the fuse box is in a nice spot that you can definitely reach, like my wife's car, where it only took me like maybe 45 minutes to do. No, this took me a few hours to do because I had to figure out which fuse actually worked between the two, and then get it all routed and working. Yeah, so long story short, all the fuses had to end up going to this side right here because the fuses behind the glove box are all the ACC type fuses, which is like to things like your USB cables and all that stuff, things that turn off when the car is off. And the other ones that stay on all the time are located here conveniently. So that was a little bit of an ordeal. And then on top of that, the actual hardwire kit that I had, which is 11.5 feet long, was barely enough length to actually get it to reach from here all the way routed around my car to here. So yeah, as you saw in the video, while I was kind of going through that, and I stopped kind of midway because I was frustrated and, you know, cursing quite a bit because I was so frustrated, but I had barely enough length, and by barely, I'm still thinking it could have used like half a foot more length, to be honest. So something to keep in mind, there are other hardwire kits that are USB-C that do the same thing, but I would strongly recommend, at least if you have a C8 Corvette, using something that has maybe 12, 13 feet. That will give you the appropriate amount of length to get it to work if you want your actual dash camera to fit right here. And this is the most ideal spot that I ended up finding, right behind the mirror, and actually not on the windshield itself. When I was trying to figure out on the windshield or where to place this, it was either blocking the view of my actual internal dash cam that I have for the C8 Corvette, or it was just blocking my view personally, which was also a problem too. So it ended up being that I went with this spot here, which is basically fully horizontal, and the actual mount itself is not really designed for that. It's designed expecting like a windshield that's at an incline, and because of that, it was actually originally sitting at like a 15-20 degree angle, like this kind of deal, which would still work with this 360 camera, but the image was kind of not perfect. So I did buy this extra piece that is also installed over here that basically then gave me a perfect level. But okay, that's enough of me talking. Let's go ahead and take a drive with this. I'll put the top down. I'll actually put the top up in a little bit. I kind of just want to drive around a little bit with the dash cam on and the top down, kind of see how that looks in the video and such. So okay, so while I'm getting out of my neighborhood, let's talk a little bit about just some of the features of the camera while the car is actually off. So when the car is off, like I said before, if you have it hardwired, the camera will stay on, but it will stay on in different modes depending on which one you choose. Now, the two different ones that I'm going to be talking about are the motion sensing option and then the collision option. So the motion sensing option, as you can probably guess, all deals around the motion sensor that's built in. And basically activates the camera if it senses motion going on in front of it or behind it or wherever. Now, it's pretty powerful in regards to that it not only will just start recording when it senses motion, but it has the ability to actually record the previous 10 seconds of the recording, which I think is one of the greatest features of this camera system. You're not going to be having to worry about you missing the actual shot that you need if you have it set up in the motion camera, if you have it set up in the actual motion sensing option. Now, that being said, it does take quite a bit more juice from that way. If it senses a lot of action going on, it'll take more energy from the battery. Not a whole lot, but if you have your car in a parking lot and you don't turn your car on a normal basis, that might be something that, could be an issue for you. Now, the other one is the collision option, which is basically G-sensor, operated. So if it senses some kind of impact or whatnot, that's when it'll activate recording and record everything for about 30 seconds. You can adjust how long the recording actually goes, but it's about 30 seconds here, give or take. At least the way I have it set up. Now, I was mentioning before that the camera has the ability to capture video in different 360-degree formats. It has the fisheye format. It has also the panoramic view format, all in 5.2K resolution, so really good resolution. I personally have it set up in the panoramic viewpoint because it's probably going to be the most user-friendly for most people if they don't have some kind of software editing feature kind of deal. So you can look at it. It'll actually stitch up all the video in a panoramic view, so you're going to get both the front and the back, everything that you could possibly need, all in one shot. And again, all of this can be downloaded via the app on your phone, so you don't have to necessarily take the SD card out of the dash cam to get any kind of film. And interestingly enough, I played with the VANTRUE app, and if you look at the video in the app, it also has the GPS data logged in with it, so you'll actually be able to not only see what's on the actual camera itself, but you'll also be able to see the GPS coordinates on the road specifically that you are on, along with all the different stuff like speed, kind of deal, all that other good information. Should you choose that, if you want that, you could actually take that information off of the screen or whatnot if you really don't want that showing on the screen, kind of deal. Alright, got to a stoplight here, so I'm gonna quickly put the top up on here, and just so we can get a little bit of a better view of what this looks like with the top down, kind of typical seeing on a regular kind of car. Okay, so top is down, so now we can get a better view of this just as a regular car with this kind of blind spots. I mean, I know I said that this basically removes all blind spots. It doesn't really remove all the blind spots, but what it's going to do better than any other freaking camera out there is be able to get the side shots way better than any other camera because it is a 360 camera. So that's something that I am actually really, really happy at how well it does. And with the dying of the light, I mean, the light had, the sun has officially gone down, so this just general. The guy in front of me is actually just revving his car, which you probably hear it, you might not, I don't know. But in any case, so the even in a low light setting, this is doing a pretty darn good job of being able to capture all of the different stuff that I wanted to capture, kind of deal. And in its night vision mode, it does a really good job. I tested it out in a few different spots before I found the new mount, which gives me even better view. But I did find that it had some really good fidelity in being able to capture quite a bit at low light, even in certain areas where there's like no light, no like street lights or anything available. And like, especially going and seeing a buddy of mine at his house where he's got a whole bunch of deer out on the roads, this is kind of something that it was able to capture quite a bit of the detail of all the different deer that were on the road that I'm always having to look out for. So yeah. But overall, I really do like this camera. I think it's going to give me that extra bit of coverage in regards to all the different recording angles that I could possibly have in case for the worst ever reason I have an issue while driving this car, or even if it's just parked somewhere and somebody decides to mess with it. All of it really good. I'm really happy with this, so I definitely would recommend it. If you are interested in this, I'll have a link in the description so you can check it out. It's basically Amazon, but they had some pretty good deals going on at the moment when I first purchased this, and I think just in general they always have really good deals that you can buy directly from them. So in any case, I think that now that I am stuck in a bit of traffic, I think that's going to kind of wrap up this video. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please check out any of my other videos, and we'll see you next time. Take care, guys.